to all within the sound of my voice, but foremost, thank you, God, for this awesome responsibility. I ask this morning that God order my steps in His Word. This morning, the task and the challenge before me is to share some thoughts around the theme, I am that I am. Becoming a Christian takes but a moment, but being a Christian is a lifetime journey. When I realize how much more I need, how little I know about the Bible, I, like many others, am academically and often theologically challenged. When I heard the theme, first time I heard the theme, I am that I am, I thought, I am in trouble. For 3 days, I stared at Exodus 3:14, and for 3 days, my mind was blank, even more so than usual. At the end of the first day, I closed the Bible and I chalked up my lack of progress to being tired, and it was not good. At the end of the second day, since my wife Diane had called me to make sure I was not comatose, I tried that trick of blaming it on Eve. I told myself, I said, self, she interrupted your concentration. It was the end of the second day, and it was less than not good. 24 hours later, after having blamed being tired and blaming Eve, and having no serpent which to blame, fear began to take hold. It was the end of the third day, and by then it was bad. God had made the world and rested in 7 days, and yet at the end of the third day, I was still on Exodus 3:14. It was then that I closed my eyes and I asked God for help. He reminded me that He would not leave or forsake me. He also made me realize that the worst thing that could happen is that I not be invited to speak at another prayer breakfast. Even within that dark thought, there was a ray of light, and I asked God, what is the good news in that? He replied, well, you could stand to lose a few pounds anyway. So even though I was challenged by the text found at Exodus 3:14, I decided that as long as I was in the neighborhood, I might as well travel down Exodus Drive and become familiar with my surroundings. You see, God realized that had I been able to look at Exodus 3:14 and get a quick answer, I would have looked no further. He wanted me to stay in His Word. So being that happened, I took 3 steps down Exodus Drive, and I stopped at Exodus 3:11, where Moses asked God, who am I that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? When we speak today of coming out of bondage, we must consider that today's bondage wears the disguise of alcohol, drugs, crime, apathy, ignorance, and a host of jail keepers. Today we have more information than ever before, yet we continue to become victims, and very often volunteer victims, of a system designed to keep us off balance and keep us in check. By now, the neighborhood felt comfortable enough to reside in, so I knew I was in a residential area. With that faith, I took 4 steps this time. I went to Exodus 3:7, where the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and I have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. You and I, made in the image of God, have surely seen the affliction of our people, which are in bondage. Let us refresh our memories about a hurricane named Katrina. Yes, my brothers and sisters, I'm going there this morning. I cannot and will not forget how the most powerful nation in the world responded to the needs of its own citizens. I draw your attention to Matthew 25:40, and the king shall say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done this to the least of my brethren, you have done it to me. Yes, sir. Yes. I cannot and will not forget, because Hurricane Katrina is just another series of lessons in the reality that we are our brother's keepers. I truly believe that we are blessed not to become comfortable and complacent, but to become just a little uncomfortable and proactive in our help to relieve the plight of others.